Hi, it's Barb Maple PhD, and Dwayne from Board Gaming came up with this really cool challenge called the One Hand Challenge. The idea is, how many good games could you figure out that you could fit in one hand? Now, of course, you could fit like one good game in a hand, but let's say you're going over to a friend's house for games, and you wanted to grab a few games, but you could only hand carry them. What could you bring? So I got mine. They fit in one hand. I'm probably not going to do that again, but let's talk about what I found. So the first one I thought of was Similo. Now I have a couple different decks of this. This is the animals. I could also have grabbed the mythologies or the spookies. But this one, this is a super fun kind of filler game, but you can play it with any number of people where one person is giving clues to try and get everyone else to guess a specific character from the array of cards that are out. It's a little bit like Mysterium, but it comes in a much smaller box and plays much quicker than that. So the clue giver, the only thing they can tell other people is through the cards that they're playing. They're going to play a card either upright or sideways, and it tells the other players that the card that they are trying to identify, the one they're trying to leave in the grid, is either like or unlike the card that the clue giver just played. And it's played in a number of rounds. The first round, the players have to get rid of one card based on the clue. In the second round, they have to get rid of 2, 3, and then 4, and finally they're left with 2 cards to choose from, and the ghost is trying to point them to one or the other, assuming they make it that far. If at any point the players eliminate the secret card that the clue giver is trying to point them to, everybody loses. But if they figure out the right one, everyone wins. So this one has brought a lot of fun to our table, a lot of fun discussions like, how is the rhino like the giraffe? Well, they're all from Africa, so they must be trying to point me in that direction. But really what they were trying to get me to see were the tiny ears and the tiny ears on some of the other characters that are showing there. So we've had a lot of fun with this. This would be super fun for any size game night. I've played it with 3 and I've played it with more players. So Similo is my first small game. Next one I picked was Wizards of the Wild. This is one that kind of flew under the radar, I think. It's a bit of a Yahtzee type game where players are rolling dice and taking those dice and getting resources out of them. So you are playing these wizard characters who are, I don't know, in some kind of championship or something. You're just trying to be the best wizard. And so you get these resources that will allow you to buy spells or do stunts. And you're trying to chain different things together on your turn. You can bribe the acolyte, which also gives you some points. And so this one I thought of because one, it's kind of thin, but also it doesn't get a lot of love, and it's a really fun one for that dice rolling feeling. And there are ways to manipulate the dice, and you can always get something good out of whatever you roll. So that is Wizards of the Wild. The next game I picked was Canvas. So this is one of those card crafting games where it comes with clear cards that you draft and then play one on top of the other so that various elements show through the final product. You are trying to create artworks that meet different criteria. So at the bottom of the card there are different symbols and different color swatches, and you want the symbols to be in certain positions, or you want certain numbers of one, or you want more of one than another one. And as you're playing these, you can only play 3 of those clear cards on top of each other. And it can get a little brain burny. And if you're not careful, folks can give in to AP, analysis paralysis. But we've had a lot of fun with this. I often just try and make the prettiest picture that I can, and I don't win the game, but I just think it's fun anyway to look at the different ways you can combine the cards and create some really cool looking things. And finally, this is actually the first game I thought of because it is a fairly thin game. I picked Habitats. This is the previous edition. I think there's a new one that just fulfilled on Kickstarter, but this is a previous edition. This is a game where you are building up an animal reserve in front of yourself. And in order to satisfy the different animals, they need to have certain different types of land next to them and different numbers of different types of land next to them. And so like the hippopotamus might need 3 waters next to it, but they don't have to be exactly adjacent. You can have 1 water next to it that is then connected to a couple other waters, and those will all count as long as one of them is connected to that hippopotamus. And then maybe he needs a grassland next to him. And once they're satisfied, it will gain you some points at the end of the game. This one is super fun. It plays up to 5 players, so it's really great for a game night. And it's pretty fast because you're just grabbing a tile and figuring out where to put it in your landscape, and other players can kind of start taking their turns as you're figuring yours out. I love the theme. I love animal themed games. That's probably obvious from 3 of the 4 of these games. And so this one to me it's so much fun. We bring it out whenever we can, whenever we just want a quick kind of brain burny game. So that one is Habitats. Those are my 4 games. I'm probably supposed to tag some folks. I'm not very good at that. So if this is something that you want to try fitting as many really cool games as you can in one hand. Give it a try and tag me and tag Black Board Gaming and let us see what you're going to bring to game night.